The wait is over. Before me, I have all 5 of the Magic Square Masterpiece size Combaticons. We have Tornado. We have Munitioner. We have Night Tracer. We have Heavy Gunner. And we have the very imaginatively named Space Shuttle. Now, I have done reviews of these all separately. Well, I put these 3 together and then I did these 2 separately. But you've seen them in their robot modes, you've seen them in their vehicle modes, you've seen them in the various modes, but you haven't seen them in their combined mode. But before we get to that, I do want to thank the Tommy Park store. The Tommy Park store has been amazing, and they sent me all these guys so I could review them individually for you and show you the combined form. So there's a link in the description if you'd like to go visit them. They've got amazing toys, plus they've just started doing 3D printed parts that you can use to enhance your current Transformers, upgrade the weapons, fill in hollows, all kinds of stuff. So definitely check them out. But we are going to get into Bruticus, merging these guys all together into their combined form. And if you're new to the channel, I'm Captain Kyle. Welcome aboard. If you've been watching for a while, thanks so much for coming back. That is awesome of you. And let's have some fun with Starscream's Brigade, the Combaticons. Be right back. So just to quickly go through, here we have the Space Shuttle. Not the most imaginative name because he becomes a Space Shuttle, but this is the latest MS-07. There is MS-06. This one is called Tornado and is basically Vortex, just as the other one. This is Blast Off in case you didn't figure it out. And again, a great vehicle mode, great robot mode. Munitioner, I forget his number, but he's Swindle. Absolutely Swindle. Heavy Gunner is Brawl and is well armed, definitely a heavy gunner. Then Night Tracer is Onslaught. And what's interesting to me is Onslaught and the shuttle, Space Shuttle, Blast Off, are nearly the same size. Now, part of the issue with the Combaticons in the cartoon, how they were formed, was Starscream found old World War II vehicles and put personality chips that he stole from Cybertron into each of them, and then they became these forms. So a prop plane became the helicopter. I'm not sure. A Jeep became Swindle, obviously. An old tank became Brawl. An old flatbed missile launching truck became Onslaught. This one puzzles me because I don't know that they had anything. Was it a boat? Was it supposed to be an early jet or something? But it became a space shuttle. Still, it formed a team that we really, really liked and could devastate Devastator.
Bruticus, devastate, Devastator.
Now, scaling-wise, obviously, they're not exactly in scale. They were never in scale because a tank is generally much bigger than a Jeep. And the Space Shuttle would be huge compared to a flatbed truck. I mean, a Space Shuttle, they would occasionally mount these on the back of like 747s. It's big. And the helicopter, again, would not be nearly as big as a Space Shuttle. But in order for them to merge together, they have to be these sizes. But they are great vehicles. They have very cartoon accurate looks, but let's see how they look combined. Now, in order to combine them, just like the G1, you needed extra parts. So in this case, even more extra parts. So for Brawl and Swindle, they have these feet here, which actually have ankle swivels built in and pieces that match the coloration of the bots that will plug into them. It's a larger and more complicated feet than the original Bruticus is just 2 plates that you plugged in. Now, the original did not have a separate hip section. I think that's the right way to put it. So he's got the upper legs, the thighs, and the hips as an entirely separate piece. I mean, this is going to look amazing, but I do have to say there's a lot of extra pieces that are being incorporated. The hands are a lot more complex than the original hands, which were just fists with little posts that went into the arm components of Bruticus. These have articulated fingers that move in all directions. They also have a little tiny piece in here that looks like it's to hold some type of weapon. I am not sure how we're going to compile a weapon, but we'll figure it out. Just like the original, there is a chest shield. And the original also had a head, but this head is connected to a body and shoulders. So again, I believe it's going to look amazing, but I think they took liberties in order to have the individual figures look so much like the original robots and the original vehicles that they could not cause them to merge together without having these extra pieces. But that being said, it's time to merge these guys together.
Combaticons, merge into Bruticus! Bruticus angry.
So there he is, the magic square, and I found out this by looking online, Lord of War, otherwise known as Bruticus. Now, I have to say, he's exacting to put together. I'm not even sure if I have him exactly right, but he looks pretty right to me. So let's see, first of all, if we can do some posability. Can he do a full toes up Jean-Claude Van Damme? It would appear that he can, without too much of a problem. And as far as height goes, 21.5 inches. Now, can he kick forward? Well, I don't think he can much. Oh, he can, because this travels with. So yes, he can kick forward pretty high. Back, also pretty high. But his joints are very similar to some of the component parts, because he's got that slot that moves, which is great, only it can cause alignment issues. He can do a side kick quite high. Can he bend at the knee? Well, he can, like so. Swiveling. Unless you're moving out to the side, you can't swivel all the way around. But if you move it to the side, yes, you can go all the way around. I do have to say, putting this guy together, it's exacting, like I said. But let's see, can he twist at the waist? That is a good question. And it would appear he can twist all the way around at the waist. However, I have noticed that Vortex has a tendency to fall off pretty easily. You really got to push that on there. Whereas Space Shuttle, stays on much more securely. You go all the way around, bend at the elbow, swivel, hands can twist all the way around, individually articulated fingers. Bruticus, say, up yours, Devastator. He does kind of have a leaning back feature, which I don't know if it's supposed to be like that, but it is. And as long as you keep this arm on, this one can also go all the way around, can also go off to the side. So in this case, I just lost a hand. And the head can turn all the way around, has nice red eyes, can nod, a little bit of wiggling back and forth. So I have to say, overall, he's a really cool looking piece. But the hand coming off is a pain in my ass. All right, it's back on. So yeah, all of them, and I've kind of slightly modified the top here of Vortex to just kind of shorten it a little bit so it's not sticking out with the entire tail fin. But I think he looks really good. Now, for some scaling, I figured I would bring out the latest Devastator, who he devastated, and you can see there is quite a difference in size here. Another recent one is the Age of the Primes Superion. Again, this one much larger. If I was Superion, I'd be running. Though I do say I'm a little disappointed, unless there's something that I missed. There's no gun. I mean, there's lots of gun pieces, but it's not like we can assemble them into a larger gun for him. So to hopefully get something a little more his size, but not quite even, this is the Combiner Wars Devastator. And as you can see, even in this case, he's a little bit outmatched size-wise, but at least he's in the range. And finally, another one that comes close, but not quite, Power of the Primes Predaking. So Predaking, as you can see, would not do well in a fight against this Bruticus. He is definitely of a size he could probably take on Metroclex or Fortress Maximus. He's pretty much Titan size. And yes, I'm not even bothering with my close-up camera. He won't fit in it. But overall, I like him. You can add little things like the guns that attach to Vortex. You can reattach, but they're kind of small. And pretty much everyone else's gun, yeah, you could possibly squeeze in Swindle's weapons, but yeah, everything else, I ain't seen it. So that would be cool to put a small Starscream on his shoulder if you're displaying him. Oh, ankle swivels. He's got those too. I'm not going to show you how generous they are because they're pretty dang generous. He'd do another split, but a fantastic homage to the original Bruticus from the TV show. Looks really good. Now these extend, but I notice they don't always like to stay up. So that could give him an extra, I don't know, inch or so of height. And it would be cool to see a shockwave that could fit into his hand. I'm not sure if the Magic Square shockwave could. I'll have to break that out at some point. But a very cool looking figure. Again, putting him together, I do have to say that these are obviously not meant for kids. There's a lot of complexity to even just changing them from vehicle to robot. Forget about merging them together. And yeah, I definitely recommend for adult collectors. And I will put him on the Turntable of Doom and give him a spin so you can see him from all angles and possibly spot anything that I did wrong. But I do overall like him. Again, a little disappointing, but all the accessories that you need to use to form him into Bruticus are separate and not integrated with these guys at all. I mean, these could have changed into a trailer of some kind that these guys could have pulled, at least. You know, this entire section here is not robot. This is definitely part of the Bruticus robot, but it does not make up anything of any of the other robots that we have in this group. So I know a lot of people are complaining. They don't really like the fact that Munitioner, the trailer, basically becomes the frame of the body. And I get it. It'd be nice if it was more like Combiner Wars, where when they merged together, you know, each limb was actually that robot instead of the framework. And the same thing with this guy having the additional frame and just plugging the planes into the frame. Kind of a cop-out, but at least that frame becomes something that attaches to the main guy. So it's pretty much incorporated into at least one of the alt forms, or at least one of the different parts that could go with the alt form, like a trailer. And this thing, I think, the frame turns into some kind of battle station. I don't remember. It's been a little while. So it would be nice if these had some other purpose than becoming parts of Bruticus. If they could form some kind of base or gunnery tower or something that one of these guys could use, that would be nice. And maybe become a attachment that could go onto Night Tracer, aka Onslaught's flatbed, or attach. So while I do really like how he looks, and I think he's super clever and a great homage, again, to the original cartoon version of Bruticus, all the extra parts, slightly disappointing. And I also sometimes think that these third-party companies make things complex just for the sake of being complex. You know, in some cases, do you need to have quite so many panels that fold out and little itty-bitty things? I don't know. But Hasbro makes things that you can sell to kids. This is definitely for adult collectors, or at least teens, or geniuses like young Sheldon. So there you go. There you have Bruticus, or the Lord of War, from Magic Square. And I think he's fun. And again, I would really like to throw my appreciation out there to the Tommy Park store for sending these to me. It has been a great experience. Obviously, it took a while for each of them to come out, but it has been a lot of fun messing around with them, learning about them, sometimes getting frustrated by them, but it's, again, a great overall set. So visit the Tommy Park store, give them some love, give them some of your business. They have free shipping on all orders, and you can have one of these yourself. And you don't have to worry about doing a review unless you're a reviewer. But there you have it. And while you are debating about this particular Bruticus, you can actually take a look at this video over here, which is a version of Bruticus from the Combiner Wars. In fact, it is the very first video I did in this channel, so be kind when you watch it. And we will see you next time. If you're enjoying these videos, by all means, feel free to subscribe. And as always, have fun and good hunting.